Sorry about that. I was saying something, but apparently the mic was on mute, so yeah, let's get into this. So, what if Bell was a rev-9? Usually I would say, well, Bell is a Terminator, so for this one, I'm just gonna say rev-9, because I want to, but people always get confused by that, so I don't know. So tell me, comment section, a Terminator. Also, I should probably mention, I should probably get the story, but I am really want to work on, I'm working on what if, is it wrong to be a Terminator in the dungeon? However, that one, I want you guys to tell me in the comment section, should it be Bell as a Terminator, or should it be someone who looks like somewhat like Bell, but has a different face and more older? I believe I have something like that. Give me a minute. I have it somewhere. Give me a minute. Where the hell did I put it? Here it is, like this. This will be my book look like thumbnail. If you guys like it, then thank you. Anyway, I'll shut up and get to it. Rev-9 model. Location unknown. Legion mission. Error. Mission is corrupt. Mission is unknown. Location unknown. Beginning system reset. 50%. 100%. System reboot successful. Rev-9 model active. As the Rev-9 opens his eyes, he looks where he is. He is in a dingy alley, which, to his surprise, he looked outside. He just saw, well, outside of the street. He didn't go out there because everyone would be looking at him naked. So, he looked around where he was, and lucky for him, he found a clothesline that was hanging up with clothes. So he simply jumped to them, and touched each one. He did not pull them down because if he did so, he would break the clothesline and then someone would find him. As he begins copying the clothes, he kinda has, well, currently I don't have the clothes for him right now, but you could say it's about looking like this. The clothes were average, but he decided to modify the clothes. Make it look like the one in my novel I'm making for Wattpad. As he does this, the Rev-9 model always goes by a name. But I'll get into that later. As the Rev-9 steps out, he just looks out in the street, and he just says in his mind, like, where the hell am I? He scans the whole area, and first thing he notices is about a person who is so short, but looks like of a man who is in his 30s. And someone right next to him, an elf, with green-like hair, which surprised this Rev-9, because Rev-9 did have knowledge about elves, but they were just always in case if someone ever asked. But he didn't actually think he'd actually see an elf, or more than that, a beastman right next to her. And that beastman was Bet. But of course, he was very curious about this place, because he begins asking around, like, what is this place? And there's one person who told him, the guy was very old. He was in his mid-50s. He was, like, really about to close up shop because he was getting in the middle of the night. This guy's like, oh, well, you're in Oshba. I can't remember the city name, unfortunately. If I mispronounced it, then I'm sorry. I do know the city name, but I forget what it's called. I'm sorry, guys, but anyway, let's get to this. As he begins looking around, as in he goes to this place. It's called can't remember Mamma Mia's restaurant, so he just scans the name. And this is not the start of the anime. Right now, just as very moment, Bell is just currently like walking around. And he decides to actually split himself because he actually manages to bump into people on purpose because on contact he copies them completely. However, if he would kill them in the middle of the street, well, that would not be a smart move, of course, because all rev-9s know this, to blend in, to infiltrate. However, the one main reason why rev-9s have one distinct, well, they don't have they have a weakness, electrical outputs, but there is one thing that you could tell. A rev-9's like endoskeleton's height, for example. If it were try to change into like someone really small, it cannot because the endoskeleton would need to be out of its outer shell of its carbon-based living tissue, aka a liquid metal. And plus, in my what if, what I've seen is when they both merge, this is my theory, okay? When they unmerge, 50% of both, when they both combine, they have intelligence. But when they split up, the intelligence is divided by 50%. So it just takes them both away and adds that to the other. So both of them are pretty smart in 50-50. But when they're combined, they are incredibly smart. Yes, and the reason why I'm making this is because it makes sense because when the rev-9 model tries to attack you and like gets out of its outer shell, it will still have a directive to terminate you. I'm sorry guys, if you don't like this prologue, then I'm sorry, but this is just a prologue right now, so I'm sorry, but as but people have been hearing like a name, not a name, just he's been deciding to go by Bell but he does not reveal his last name because he does not have one. You see, Bell has been staying there for about 2 weeks. And he's he's been really interested in this, like, gods existed here, which was a quite surprise. And humans relied on these gods to grow in strength, to become stronger, which rev-9 was not impressed about this. Even though that in this world, which he already gathered up with the information that he's not even in a timeline anymore, he's in another world, that gods are all the talk of the town. They don't think of ideas. They just go into a dungeon and kill monsters. And they just do this repeatedly until all of a sudden they reach like a level 2 or level 3. However, when they reach a level 5, they would probably allow them to like enhance their strength by a lot, which got the rev-9's attention. He was wondering if he ever got a goddess, or someone allowed him in their familia. What would happen to him? Would his stats be a level 1? And also, they did mention about races. Luckily for him, his skin, which will be counting as a human, will be imitating human flesh. So I got him covered on that. Even though the flu will only be representing the carbon liquid, in Hestia's opinion. However, he does not do this yet. Join Hestia's Familia, because I want to say that when Eyes and the Minotaurs are released, Yeah, I'm gonna say went up to that part, but okay, this is insane. But if you guys don't like this, and I'm terribly sorry, but for my warpad, I'm gonna name like my character because I don't want Belle to be a Terminator, obviously, but I'm gonna have someone who has like Belle's hair, obviously. But yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Anyway, I get to it. As currently, Belle's been actually imitating other people, actually saying that they've been paying this rent for a while, in other hotels or bars, which people were getting confused about. Them saying like they've been in a dungeon though for like a while, and they've been at their friend's house, and this one's been saying they've been at their thing for a while now. Which rumors started spreading about someone imitating people. It was just a rumor, but they did manage to see someone like change into someone. However, I really wanted to like do like the theme, but I'll get copyrighted. Oh god damn it. Well, might as well tell you guys. Epic Bell is coming. Okay. I might as well tell you how that story will go. Oh, it's gonna be hilarious. Like one day, Epic dies, and I'll explain that in this video. Epic's like, huh? Wait a minute. Am I dead, bruh? As God's like sweating right now, like, yes, Epic. As Epic's like, are you God? Oh my goodness, I have so many questions, but how did I die, bro? Did I die an epic way? Did I die dabbing at least? As God's like puts his hands together and just says, no, you died in this most stupidest way possible. As Epic's like, what? As God's like, yeah, someone up here accidentally did that. You died. You died when you rolling over, and you went to grab a glass of water, and the water spilled on you, simply like drowning, so you like going up your nose and drowning you from the inside out. As Sam's like, but I don't have any lungs. As he's like, yeah, but your human kind of puts like hot sauce in it, so you were burning on the inside out. As Epic's like on the ground, like that's the worst way to die, bro. Frying in the inside. If anyone gets to this, which caught the rumors caught Loki's for attention and Freya's attention, which Freya would usually see that this person saw who's imitating anyone who's new to the city. However, there was something strange. She didn't feel any new soul in the city until she saw someone new, which she was pretty much wondering why this person didn't have a soul. As Freya asked Optera to get information about him, because usually souls have a new color, but for Bell, he does not have a color, or in fact, he does not have a soul, obviously. Since rev-9s are also built to learn and evolve, it wouldn't be so hard to believe that in those 2 weeks, Bell managed to evolve and to have a consciousness of his own in those 2 weeks. But not a full consciousness yet, not like Carl. Carl is one of a kind. Oh yeah, my Wattpad novel. 100% Carl's gonna be in there. 100%. Or better yet, I could just send that guy back in time to Carl. How long have I been recording? Not that long, but anyway. I'll shut up and get to it. As Bell was walking through the streets like normal, and he goes to the dungeon impersonating someone from the Loki Familia, which was a rookie, obviously. which went into the dungeon, and when the expedition came up, it was a perfect chance for actually Belle to go into the dungeon, impersonating this person because they had to go somewhere, or should I say, they died in a dungeon. But however, Belle actually hid her body and buried it in the dungeon. So Loki's just been hasn't updated this person's like stats yet because she kept trying to, but she could not find her of no avail because she kept running off. As they went for that expedition, they went up all the way to the mid floor, where it's a safe spot. As soon as Belle reached the mid floor, he walked away from the Loki Familia and changed his shape. And he changed it into, gosh dang it, something like a combat form. I'll look for it later, but yeah. Right now, we could just imagine Terminator looking like this for now. Anyway, as Belle was just sitting on the trees because Belle, one thing that Bet caught on was Bet could not smell a certain familiar member because he did see that person leave. But as soon as Bet tried to follow her, she disappeared. Which Bet was trying to pick up her scent, which Bet was surprised that she did not have a scent, because all human beings have scents. But for this one, she didn't have one. And that's how dogs tell that. The reason why dogs can tell if you're human or Terminator is because you're scent. Terminators don't have scents, and that's what gets them discovered by dogs. So, yeah. As Belle As Belle begins looking, Belle begins looking like down towards the city, leaning on a branch. He sees what he could gather was Leafia entering that city. With what he could gather was the eyes of Sword Princess. And Belle's thinking to himself like, huh, man, if I was a human, I would have fallen head over heels for her. But sadly, I don't. And besides, this Loki Familia, they are pretty decent, what I could gather, but they're not really experienced in war enough. Besides, if it was me who versus the Sword Princess, I would simply I would be the obvious winner. Because I would just sit there and let her hit me. Even though her skills, what I could gather, was Avenger and Tempest, which was pretty new to me about magic. And it was also fascinating how I saw her use it. However, I didn't notice that she only used 30% of it, which I'm guessing that's how much she could use. Plus, I'm quite very observative. Man, that dog tried to track me down as well. But lucky for me, he could not find me. And plus, right now, Belle's like actually separated from his little, right now, we're like looking at a rev-9 endoskeleton. It's just sitting on a tree, while his outer shell is actually in town getting more information. You see, rev-9's actually, since the outer shell can also gather information, also the endoskeleton. However, he made two of them have different jobs. One is to observe the city from a far distance because, fucking, if they just saw a walking, talking, like, skeletal thing, they would immediately attack and think it was a monster. Which would not end well, aka the town would be completely destroyed, because if you have like one Rev-9 model there, the endoskeleton, you would probably not be able you will not be able to beat it. But with its like what if its other outer shell was there too combined, yeah, that town would be destroyed in a matter of 2 minutes, legit. As Bell got off the tree, as the Rev-9, who was as his outer shell came back to him in homeless clothes, which as immediately as soon as Bell began touching it, it looked like this. They merged like this. As the information started going through both their minds, the information was quite good. He got more information up here than any on the lower surface. And that's when he turned around and he saw a monster. It was a little orc or boar. As Bell just simply turned around with its eyes simply like emotionless. As the boar roared at him and began running at him. And simply the boar simply Bell was gone in a flash. And Bella's hands were dripping with blood. As the boar turned around and all you could hear was a all of a sudden the boar's body began to fall apart as it fell on the ground as being turned to dust. As Bell picked up the crystal, which he did not want, which he had some on him, but he did not wish to, like, he did not wish to sell them yet. He wished to observe them for a little while before he sold them. He was pretty impressed about how this crystal has a soul, like has energy going through it. He just puts it in his little pocket, which, of course, he has a handbag that he made or he bought from being like impersonating other people, which was pretty impressive. As he was about to leave, he hears people screaming, and these people were one of the local familiars, like a guy wearing a knight's armor, and him being healed by Leafia, or Rivia. As Bet and, of course, Bell got the information about the two Amazon twins, as he noticed that her weapon melted, and Bell's like, wow, shouldn't be surprised about this new monster type. And besides, I think they can handle it. As a few minutes later, Bet comes arriving, kicking the monster into the cave as in the Sword of Ultra. As he does this, he says, hurry! God damn it, you two! Hurry up and help the others! I'll take care of these. As Tina's like, hell no! I want into the fun! As Bet's like, fine, but don't come whining to me that you got hurt. Tia, as her sister's like, okay, as she begins like, her other sister begins like grabbing, like helping other people in her familia, the lower levels, as Leafy is like trying her best to hold off. However, in my version, Bet's holding off like another group of caterpillar monsters, which was pretty bad because Leafia was the only one holding up a barrier, and for the next 2 seconds, for the next 5 minutes, the caterpillar kept hitting it, but harder and harder, until eventually the shield broke. Well, the barrier broke, As it was about to spit the acid at Leafia, and Eyes was actually rushing to her aid, in an instant, the caterpillar instantly got chopped, or more precisely, kicked right in the face, knocking it all the way into the very wall, all the way at the end of the tree line. As Belle just turns to them and just, in like combat armor, I can't think of the combat armor, just like a standard like look like this. As he just simply looks at them and just waves his hand at them. As he simply just is handling the rest of the monsters with ease. And which was surprising was Bell's fucking shell was doing the work. He was not in this shell. Bell was simply observing the rest. He was just like sitting on a tree line, just observing this battle. Because observation is the key to advantage to your opponent's weaknesses. As Bell turned, as next 2 hours later, all the monsters were killed. And then Beck got back and he just saw this person wearing white hair and have red eyes and a mask and a hood. However, they wanted to ask who this person was. But this person simply took a bow and jumped so high in the air, which shocked them, and landed so far out that they could not see where he went. It was as if he simply vanished. Which, Ice asked if Leafia knows who this person is. She says, "No, I'm sorry. Sorry, Ice, I don't." And if we would have heard of an adventurer who has such skill, as Ice bites her lip like, whoever he is, I want to fight him. And that's where we're ending it off for today. Sorry guys, if I did not really do well at talking, it's because I've been doing the prologue a lot, so if you don't like this, I'm terribly sorry, but if you do, please smash the like button and tell me in the comment section if you like this. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll talk to you all in the next video. Goodbye!